Alrighty, my friends, let's go ahead and get this review done. Let's see. I gotta show all work, and because no work means very few points, even if we get the right answer. Ooh, there's a parentheses missing. Haha, silly. Whoa, that's a big one. Let's fix the size of that. And then we gotta solve each equation for the variable indicated. So, my first goal is to get this by itself. Well, that means I should add 5 to both sides. So it would be a good idea to put a sticky note down that says, I added 5 to both sides. So 1, add 5, both sides. And then I have a squared equals 0, so what I need to do is take the square root of both sides. So 2 square root both sides. And then the square root of 0 is 0, and the square root of 0 is 0. So we have a equals 0. Theoretically, I'd have plus or minus, but since it's 0, I don't have to worry about a positive and negative. For the second one, I want to get the x squared by itself, so let's divide by negative 8 first. And so 1 divide both sides by negative 8. So that's going to leave me with x squared, and then 128 divided by 8, that's 1, and then 48, so 16. And then I'm going to take the square root of both sides. So that's going to be x is 4 or negative 4. So square root both sides. Don't forget plus or minus. All right. Next one. Ooh, we have a couple steps we got to do here. So my goal is to get this by itself. So my first step toward getting that would be to add 4 to both sides. So 1, add 4 both sides. So that means we're going to have 5x squared equals 320. And now I still want to get that x squared by itself, so I'm going to divide both sides by 5. Divide by 5 both sides. Something along those lines on the sticky note. So that's going to be x squared is equal to 64. And now I'm going to square root both sides. That's 8 or negative 8. So square root both sides. And don't forget, plus or minus. Alrighty, ooh, this next one looks like the spiciest one so far. So my first goal is to get that by itself. So I think I'm going to add the 7 first, because the 10's being multiplied. So I'm going to take care of the multiplication second. So I'm going to add the 7 to both sides. So that's negative 1,000. And I don't have room on my sticky, but my sticky would say add 7 to both sides. Then my next step is going to be divide by negative 10. So I added 7 to both sides. Now I'm dividing both sides by negative 10. Remember that the operation going on between the negative 10 and the parentheses, remember that that's a multiplication. So we want to unmultiply, which is divide. Crosses out over here. 2x minus 4 squared equals 1,000 divided by 10, which is 100. So my next sticky note says divide both sides by negative 10. Then we take the square root of both sides. So my next sticky note says take the square root of both sides. Don't forget plus or minus. And actually, in this case, I'm going to do this. I'm going to write 2x minus 4 equals 10, and 2x minus 4 equals negative 10. And now I just need to solve for x. So my sticky note would have said take the square root of both sides. Don't forget plus or minus. Next, I'm going to add 4 to both sides. And so my next sticky note is add 4 to both sides in both sets of equations. So negative 10 plus 4 is negative 6. And then my final sticky note is going to be divide both sides by 2 in both equations. So x equals 7 and x equals negative 3. And that's all I need to do there. All right, and we're going to solve each system by substitution. So I see that I have a y equals equation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that y and I'm going to plug it in right there. So I'll have negative 6x plus 2, negative 8x plus 14 equals 6. And on my sticky note, I'm going to write replace y with negative 8x plus 14. My next step is going to be distribute that 2. Pew, pew. So negative 16x plus 28 equals 6. So on my sticky note, I would write step 2 would be distribute the 2 to the negative 8x and the 14. Now I'm going to combine like terms. So right here I see that I have 22, so negative 22x plus 28 equals 6. So on my sticky note, my step 3 would be combine like terms. Subtract 28 from both sides. So that's negative 22. And so on my sticky note, it'd be step 4, or whatever number I'm on, would be subtract 28 from both sides. And then my final step is divide by negative 22, and I get x equals 1. Now I said my final step, but I'm not actually done, because I found a x value, but I need to find a y value. So my actual final step would be plug in x equals 1. So y equals negative 8, 1 plus 14. So that's going to be 6. And the point is 1, 6, therefore. That's the point where those two lines hit. You could plug those into Desmos and verify if that is accurate. Fingers crossed, I did it correctly. I see the same idea in the second one. I have a y equals, so I'm going to go ahead and replace the y with 3x minus 24. So on my sticky, first step is replace y with 3x minus 24. Then I'm going to distribute the negative 6. So that's minus 18x, and then plus 6 times 24 is 120, plus 24 is 144. And so on my sticky, step 2 would be distribute negative 6 to 3x and negative 24. Now I'm going to combine like terms. So negative 21x plus 144 equals negative 3. So that was combine like terms. And then I will subtract 144 from both sides. So negative 21x equals negative 147. So step 4 is subtract 144 both sides. And then I'm going to divide by 21. And 147 divided by 21 is 7. So I ran out of room there, but that would be my next step, would be divide both sides by negative 21. And then I'm going to plug in. So my next step would be plug in 7 for x. So on my sticky note, I would say replace x with 7. 3 times 7 is 21, minus 24 is negative 3. So my point is 7, negative 3. And that's all we had to do.